Welcome to another episode of Health Your Way podcast, where we discuss health issues ranging from physical, mental, emotional, as well as current facts. Today, we're going to be talking about how to improve your immunity, and we're going to be talking about the superfood called algae. Can it really help? So please allow me to introduce you to my guest today, Catherine Arnston. Hi. She's a holistic nutrition health coach, a Reiki master, has her MBA from the Ivey School of Business of the University of Western of Ontario, and a founder as well as the CEO of ENERGYbits. For those who do not know what ENERGYbit is a product that is derived from the superfood algae. Did I say it right? Are we on a good point? Anything else you want to add, Catherine?
Yeah, most people don't know about algae, so that's why I'm here.
Yes, and I think for myself too, I'm not familiar with it because I do hear the word, but I don't really dwell with it, and there's so much information. So I think having this conversation with you is going to help a lot of people as well as myself.
You got it.
And I think for a lot of people, we often hear the word superfood. Like I think I've seen it so many times. And can you let us all know what, in your own words, is superfood?
Yeah. Well, a superfood is food, first of all. Usually it's a plant-based food that has such dense nutrition in it that it has what's called medicinal benefits.
Okay.
So it does more than just satisfy your hunger. It actually has particular nutrients in it, very often phytonutrients that have healing properties.
Okay.
And you know, in Asia and in lots of countries around the world, they have used herbs and foods for healing forever. It's only in the last century that in America, drugs have been started to use for, you know, to correct health conditions. But until then, for hundreds of centuries before that, it was always food. It was herbs. And we lost touch with that here in America, but it's still alive and well in South America, Africa, Asia. So a superfood has remarkable nutritional density that it does more than satisfy your hunger. And that's why algae is not only a superfood, I call it a super duper food because of all the superfoods, and in fact of all the food that exists, algae is king. And I'm going to walk you through why.
So you're going to tell us about the benefits of what those are.
Yes, well, what I'd like to do first is explain what algae is, so then you can have a better appreciation for the benefits. So first of all, as I mentioned, algae is food. So a lot of people think it's a supplement because it looks like it comes in, we sell them, our algae we have algae in tiny tablets that you can swallow or chew or add to a smoothie. And they do look like pills, I will say that. They're about the size of a baby aspirin, but they are not pills. We call them bits because they're bits of food. And I don't know if you can see this. So this is an algae farm.
Okay.
So the importance of food over supplements is that supplements are made from artificial ingredients in manufacturing plants, and they use high heat to put everything together into those little capsules or whatever it is that you buy. And the heat kills some of the nutrition, number one, and your body can't recognize it because those nutrients don't exist in isolation in nature. That's why you'll find health coaches and nutritionists will always encourage you to get your nutrition from food, because there's all sorts of extra minerals and vitamins and factors that you aren't aware of that help your body absorb those nutrients you get it from food. So that's why I dwell very much, first of all, on the fact that algae is food, because it gives you all this extra nutrition that you aren't even aware of. It's the difference between, consider a supplement maybe like a soloist in grade 3 learning to play music. Algae is the full orchestra, full professional orchestra. It's got harmonies of nutrients that would be impossible to fake or make, okay?
Okay.
And just in case you want to know, this is an interesting fact about algae. It was the first life on Earth almost 4 billion years ago. So before algae, Earth was just gas and water. Nothing lived. Now, algae releases oxygen when it's growing, so after about 1 billion years, it released enough oxygen on Earth that other life forms could grow, and that was the evolution of Earth. So you have to say to yourself, there's got to be something special if it was the first life on Earth, not just plant life, but life, period. So, and it's
But
still,
hold on, let's step back. Is that proven? Like, I know you're saying that, but is that, like, is there research?
yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure, because a lot of people say things, and we want to make sure that it's clear
You
that
got it.
okay.
And I'm a little different. I don't say anything unless there is science to back it up. And so they have fossils
Okay.
that show this spirulina was the algae that was found in these in the ice from, and in fact, a team from National Geographic was in Antarctica about a year ago, and they took some ice chips that they carbon dated to date back to like 3.5 billion years ago. And there was some algae in the ice. So out of curiosity, they put the algae into a petri dish and added some water to it. And wouldn't you know, it started growing again, because algae never dies. It just goes dormant until the growing conditions are restored. So
okay, I know what you're saying, but then you know what? Now I'm thinking, for people who are listening, I remember, like, maybe when I was young, we thought algae was like what you see in the water, or the green little thing.
Well, it is. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and so I'm going to get there next, but I did want you to make the distinction that it is food, and we grow ours as a crop, no different than broccoli or kale.
Understood.
So algae is a food group.
Okay.
You have vegetables and you have fruit. Algae is its own food category because it doesn't fit into anything else. Okay.
Okay.
So and there are two main types of algae. One is called macroalgae, and that's seaweed, dulse, kelp. That's the big stringy stuff you see on the oceans and on the beach. Okay.
That's clear.
So that has very high fiber, very low nutrition, but high fiber.
Okay.
That's macroalgae. We're talking about microalgae, and the reason why it's called microalgae is because it's microscopic in size.
Okay.
Now, this grows everywhere. This is in the oceans, it's in the lakes, swamps, river, your swimming pool, your aquarium, the soil. This is what feeds the fish, the whales. However, all of those types of microalgae that are grown everywhere, and there's two types. One is called blue-green, and the other one, there's another type called green. They're all toxic and poisonous to humans. They're fine for the fish. They're fine for animals, not fine for humans. So the only two algae, microalgae, that you want to eat are the two that we sell, and are the two that you will find anywhere on any store shelves.
Okay.
One of them is called spirulina, and that's a blue-green algae. And the other one is called chlorella, which is a green algae. Now, the reason why spirulina is called a blue-green algae is because it has two pigments in it. The green one, everybody probably already knows, that is a pigment called chlorophyll. And other pigment most people will never have heard of before, which is a blue pigment called phycocyanin. And it's a beautiful Aegean sea color, and it has very amazing healing properties that are only found in spirulina. But the important thing to know is that when you go online and you read about toxic algae, yes, if it grew in the ocean or the lakes or your swimming pool, not if it's harvested as we grow ours and everybody grow in fresh water. So that's number one. It's grown in fresh water tanks. Like,
so I understand what you mean. So basically you're saying don't go into your swimming pool and pick up algae, or just it has to be prepared properly that we can consume it without no issues.
Yes. And it's not only toxic, but also algae absorbs whatever's in the water. So the growing.
I see.
So, and we'll talk about what makes us different later on. But one of the things that does distinguishes us is because I created the company and I started the company. We'll talk about that later because my sister had breast cancer. But everything we've done is to ensure safety and nutritional density for people. So we grow our algae in triple filtered spring mountain water. There is nothing cleaner than our water. And then we also don't use high heat to dry it, because we dry it into a powder like everybody else uses high heat, which kills the enzymes and kills the nutrition.
Okay, but then let's step back. I know you're telling us specifically how you build it, but then I want to understand, and maybe people are listening, is why would I buy it? What's the benefit? What does it do for me as a person?
Exactly. Okay. So first of all, it's food, and it's a superfood, so it has medicinal properties beyond just plain nutrition.
Okay.
the two algae, spirulina and chlorella, do completely different things in your body. So I'm going to list out some of the benefits. So spirulina, and we call ours ENERGYbits, gives you energy. And it gives you energy for from a couple of reasons. One, it has the highest concentration of protein in the world. Now, protein, normally your body it takes 2 or 3 days for your body to break protein down into amino acids so it can be absorbed. Algae, the protein's already in amino acids, and spirulina has 3 times the amount of protein as steak. 3 times. That's why back in 1974, the United Nations declared spirulina algae as the answer to world hunger, because it has the highest concentration of protein in the world. And that protein gets converted into glucose, which gives you energy.
Okay, but let's just step back. This is plant-based, right? Just for a lot of people, because we keep saying protein. So I want to make sure everybody's here understand this is plant-based, right? Sorry to cut you. Yes. Okay.
Yes, exactly. This is algae is a type of plant.
Okay.
And so it contains no sugar, caffeine, chemicals, animal products, seafood, sea products, nothing. It's just a plant.
Okay.
It's a plant that's got such dense nutrition that it has amazing, well, in this case, spirulina has energy benefits and it has other healing benefits. So spirulina has the highest amount of protein, whether it's animal protein or plant, but it just has the highest protein period in the world. 3 times more than anything else, like chicken or animal stuff.
Okay, and the other one?
The other algae is called chlorella, which is a little tough to say, and it's a health and wellness algae. So it helps you recover your health. So we call ours ENERGYbits. Now, what makes chlorella different from spirulina is many things. Chlorella pulls out toxins. First of all, it has the highest concentration of chlorophyll in the world. Spirulina has the highest concentration of protein. Chlorella has the highest chlorophyll. What's so important about chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is cleansing to your body. You know, your mother always, again, told you to eat greens, and mostly it's because of the chlorophyll that's cleansing. I'm going to show you this picture. This is the structure of your blood. This is your hemoglobin, and this is the chemical structure of chlorophyll. Notice that they're almost identical. The only difference is that in your blood, you have an iron atom. Remember, we talked about that carries oxygen. And in chlorophyll, it's magnesium. Otherwise, they're absolutely the same. And this explains why chlorophyll is one of the reasons why it's so important for your health. It builds your blood. So the healing benefit of this is, number one, a very high amount of chlorophyll. This is a wellness algae. Number two, it has the hardest cell wall in the plant kingdom. Remember, spirulina has none. This has the hardest. Why is that important? That hard cell wall attaches to toxins, lead, mercury, radiation, lactic acid, alcohol. This will pull out anything that should not be in your body. So it was used at Hiroshima, Fukushima, Chernobyl to pull out radiation.
So then there's really no side effects or any negative side effects to this, basically because of what you've said so far. To me, I see that there's a lot of benefits for algae.
Right. Well, there are. It's food, and the spirulina is so safe that they give it to newborns in Japan if they can't digest mother's milk, and it's the only thing that keeps them alive. And it's because of the nutrient profile is almost identical to mother's breast milk. So whether you're a newborn or grandparents or even pets, this is the safest, or at least ours is, safest, purest food in the world. And not a single person has ever had a problem with it. It's been used for thousands of years, but 50 years in Asia. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry in Asia. They don't take vitamins. They only take spirulina and chlorella. Now, chlorella, because it's a detoxing algae, you may have some detox symptoms, but they'll only be short term, and it's only while the toxins are being pulled out of your blood, your cells, circulating a bit in your blood until you sweat them out or have a bowel movement. And then you're going to be clean of toxins.
I think for a lot of people, like, you've given us so much information, and I know that you have more to share. And I think for a lot of people that are interested in what you're saying and want to learn more about your products, what's the best source of, I guess, where do we get more information about you as well as your product?
Well, we have our main website is ENERGYbits.com.
We'll have it there. Go ahead.
ENERGY, for boy, its.com. And we sell the large bags of 1,000 tablets on our website. And we have a 20% discount code to share with you and your community and your listeners. The discount code is MOAKINS, MOAKINS. And that works on all the products all the time.
And I appreciate it. I honestly want to say thank you again for being on the show. I think I've learned a lot. I think I know I've learned a lot. I've seen algae differently than what I initially thought. I think there's more to learn. And I urge anybody that's interested in what you're saying, reach out to your team, go on your website, look up the information, because you in this day and age, especially with COVID-19, we need to start really worrying about what we eat and what we put in our body going forward.
You're right.
Thank you for joining us today on our weekly episode of Health Your Way podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and please feel free to comment below and ask any questions on topics we discussed, as well as future topics you'd like to hear about. Have a happy and healthy week, and be sure to tune in next week for the next episode on a Health Your Way podcast.